Perfect. So hello, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again for another Temple Talk. And this week is the third part in our 4-part series, all about the different phases of the moon and the powers and pleasures that reside within each phase of the moon. So for those of you who don't know who I am, hello, hi, welcome here. My name is Rebecca Burgess and I'm the Mother Priestess and the founder of the Temple of Cornwall, as well as being an oracle, a writer, a sacred celebrant and an international speaker. But today I come to you as Mother Priestess. I come here to give you the Temple Talk. This is kind of like, imagine a pagan sermon, except there's not so much sermonizing, more of a stream of consciousness about one topic and many others, because I do like to ramble. So yeah, come along and join me, learn something new, drop your own suggestions and your own ideas about what we're talking about in the comments as well. And again, not wearing my glasses, but I will hone in and focus in on what you're saying at different intervals as well. So if you've not been to a Temple Talk before, then hello, welcome again. But these run, I'll take you through some house rules, that'll be easier. So the first part is about 30 minutes to 40 minutes of me talking about a specific subject. And these subjects as well, you can request different subjects. You can give me ideas if you want, and I would quote you in the description, and we would talk about something of your choosing. So do always feel free to send me with your messages and your ideas for what you want to hear me talk about at Temple Talks. But yeah, so the first half an hour will be me talking about whatever subject it is. So this week is the new moon. And then for the last 10, 15 minutes, I will leave you in peace and quiet. There will be no me here. I will leave you with the temple energies that have all been set up and made sacred just for you guys. And you can catch this on a replay. If you can only catch half of it on a live, you can catch it on the replay on all the different platforms, really. But we are live on, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. So perfect. Oh, hi, everyone who's watching on YouTube and Facebook. Perfect. So yes, let's get started then. So the new moon. I used to really struggle with the new moon when I was younger, when I was first kind of like early 20s, I would say. Really, struggle is a hard word. I just struggled to get on with it. I really loved the intensity of the full moon. I loved the fullness of the full moon. That's a given, isn't it? But the passion that's with the full moon. But as I've started to get older, I like the solitude of the new moon. I really appreciate the emptiness, the stillness, and the nothingness. It just brings me a lot of inner peace. So that is really something that I've been picking up on lately with the new moon. And it's, again, another disclaimer, I'm no astronomer or astrologer. I couldn't, tell you the ins and outs of what makes it a new moon, because I didn't pay much attention to science class when I was at school, and I haven't deemed to pick it up since, but alas. So yes, I couldn't quite tell you that. But yeah, so the solitude of the new moon is what really is, sorry, Facebook's being weird, is what's pulling me in at this time. And this is depending, if you're somebody with a menstrual cycle, then you'll find that you would tend to ovulate around this time or bleed at this time. It's more common to bleed at this time, but it's less common to bleed on the full moon. So if you were bleeding on the full moon, you'd be ovulating now. So very sensual, very mysterious, very dark, very like Lilith, that beautiful, powerful goddess of empowered sexuality, Lilith. If you're ovulating at this time of the month, phenomenal, amazing, do recommend. But if you're bleeding at this time of the month, it's very much a deep surrender into the cosmic womb, really, into the vastness of nothing, into the minute of nothing, if that makes any sense. I'm aware that's a contradiction in terms, but the expansiveness of no expectations, of no pressures, of no burdens, whether real or perceived, no responsibilities beyond what you want to be responsible for, beyond what brings you pleasure, beyond what brings you the pain that's necessary to evolve and grow and change as humans, if that's something that you want to do. And hi everyone on Instagram that's joining. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, the new moon, if you are somebody with a menstrual cycle, do really try and pay attention to when you're bleeding and ovulating, because it will usually be either now or at the full moon. And that's a really delicious way to really sink into your own divinity. You know, as people with wombs and uteruses, you will find that the more in tune you can live with the moon, the more easier life gets, the more pleasurable life gets. Everything just becomes so juicy and ripe for the picking. And even in like the cosmic void of the new moon, there's still something so delicious about that emptiness, because it is that releasement of that, releasing of the shackles, if you like. And those shackles could be, you know, your own self-doubt, perhaps your low self-worth, a burdensome relationship of any kind. You know, those shackles can represent anything, really. So this is, yeah, I just, maybe this is a whole topic in and of itself, menstrual cycles and the moon. I'll probably do that at the end of this 4-part series, and because I could honestly prattle on about that for a long time. But those, even those of you who kind of your hormonal system fluctuates with the sun, yeah, you can still pay attention to the moon and the people around you and how they respond to the moon. You know, if you're not such a moony person, see how people around you respond to the moon, and get to ask the people in your life, you know, that people with the menstrual cycle, depending on your relationship with them, don't ask your colleagues, it's very inappropriate. But, you know, if it's your beloved, if it's your partner, ask them, get to know their cycle and in tune with the moon. And then that way, fellas, lads, you can be one step ahead of the game here. You can know there's a new moon coming up and, oh, she's going to be bleeding. I'll get her a dairy milk. I'll get her a bunch of flowers and she'll be happy as a pickle. Where does that saying come from, happy as a pickle? Because I've never had a pickle and been happy about it. Again, wildly off topic. Yes, so do get to know your cycle and those around you, if it's appropriate to know the cycle of those around you. But more, let's take our eyes off the menstrual cycle for a moment and look at the new moon specifically. So what does the new moon let us tap into in our own psyche, in our own spiritual growth, you know, psychological growth? What does it let us do? So this is in my eyes, and again, no astrologer here, this is the astrological time of the nothing, of the void, of the cosmic womb. And this is, you can travel to the cosmic womb, be you man, lady, or non-binary. You can travel within this cosmic womb, this great nothingness. And this is a really potent time for manifestation. Apologies if you can hear my puppy screaming. Somebody is downstairs looking after her, I promise. But yeah, you can, yes. And within the cosmic womb, which you will naturally sink into at this time, you don't have to do anything special to tap into the cosmic womb or the great nothingness. You can just, we are in those energies currently. Of course, you can sink deeper with astral projection, meditation, soul journeying, shamanic work, whatever it is that you do to kind of make your soul pop out momentarily in a safe way. Yeah, that you can sink into these energies a lot deeper, but we are naturally in them already. We're naturally in the cauldron, if you like, at this time of the month. And I'll circle back to the cauldron because that's a very good point that we should come back to in just a second. So yes, you don't feel like you have to do anything special to sink into the cosmic womb. You just are at this time of the month, which is nice. Again, it takes off that pressure to be thinking, it's a new moon, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. You can do what you want. It's lovely. The new moon, again, especially this new moon at Yule time, it's so nice to just do nothing. Whatever you usually do at a new moon, if that doesn't feel right to you right now, don't do it, because it's, I was talking to a lovely woman this morning or yesterday, I can't remember. All the days blur into one when you've got a puppy. Yes, I was talking to her and she was saying how she just wants this stillness at the moment. She just wants rest and peace, and she's hoping that this new moon will bring her that. And that's precisely it. If you know, usually my new moon ritual would look like doing manifestation work for the month ahead, a yoni steam, a deep house cleanse, you know, like washing the front door with peppermint oil, setting up all my wards. But this month, I just want to do like a brief cleanse, like enough of a cleanse that it's sufficient, enough of a ward that it's safe. But beyond that, I just want to float around like I'm in one of those sensory deprivation salt tanks. That's all I want for my new moon this weekend. I feel like I was making a different point and I've come off tangent. Shocker, I'm aware. What was it? Not sure. But yes, that was it. So you don't have to do anything to sink into the nothingness. That was it. That's where we're going. But in this cosmic room where there is nothing, because if you think of, if you are an egg, if you are an egg cell in a womb, there's nothing for miles. You are so minute in this space, and that is your existence and your reality. That's all you know. That's all you have ever known. Then it is just perpetual darkness, perpetual nothingness until creation begins, if it begins. It can either be creation or it can be destruction. And both of those things are very valid and very beautiful and very potent at this time of the month. So this has reminded me, I think this came up in a one-on-one with one of my students, and this is nothing to do with anything, but it was a quote from, if anyone's ever seen Rent the musical, then A, I love you so dearly, but B, there's a quote in there from I think they're quoting somebody else, but I'm not sure, but it says the opposite of peace. So the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation. But again, that just felt like a nice little nugget to pop in there for you. But yes, so dropping into that cosmic womb, so that the creation, the manifestation, if you think of manifestation as, or the beginnings of manifestation, there's lots of different phases through it. I'm going to do a whole different temple talk on manifestation because I don't half talk about it. But the beginnings of manifestation is like you've had that talk with your partner, your significant other about, I think it's time that we start trying to have a baby. It's that moment, it's that spark of this is what we want to do, this is our new goal, and this is how we're going to achieve it. And then the more kind of realized your manifestations become, so perhaps you've worked through another emotional block around money, if money is something you're trying to manifest, or let's stick with the baby route. So let's say you've got a emotional block or a psychological block around fearing birth, for example, and you would be the birthing partner. Then, once you've worked through that's then almost like working through the different stages of having a baby, conceiving a child. So just the egg, and then the releasing of creation, then creation itself, life sparked, and all these different things. So then conception, you're not just fertile, it's conception, and then it's growth, further growth, painful growth, constriction growth, and then birth, and then life. My goodness, and life. So it is that potentiality that you can really tap into a lot stronger this time of the month. Now, this is quite a strong moon. I think this is an eclipse. Probably last one was. Yes, so this would be as well. So yes, do look to your own astrologers for manifesting during eclipses. I know people are either very for it or very against it. I say go with your gut. Do what feels right for you. But yes, and the destruction as well. I always think I love to either create or destruct something or destroy something at this time of the month. This is really powerful to release anything. I know a lot of people do releasing work on the full moon, and there's nothing wrong with that because the moon does start waning then. But I like to release any like dead weight from my life before we then start the kind of uptake again towards the full moon. So this is a really powerful time. I think you're in the void, the cosmic womb, the void of nothingness. So anything that is kind of stagnant in your life, you'll be able to see, because it will feel heavy and burdensome and tiresome for you as well. So it's very easy at the full moon to spot those things, don't get me wrong, but I would say it's, depending how you pick up on energies, it's equally easy, if not easier for you, depending on how you do it at this time of the month as well. And my legs got dead. Oh my gosh. Oh. So yes, the destruction as well. So if you think of the destruction as like the shedding of the uterine wall, so the period, the bleed every month. It's so purging and detoxifying, and I don't mean detoxifying in the medical science sense or nutritional sense. I just mean it in like a like a weight lifted kind of detox. This is a really powerful time to even if you don't have to do any releasing work at this time. You can just become aware of it, and then at the full moon release it. It always feels like, to me, it's almost 2 cycles within one with the moon cycle. So you've got the now where it's becoming very self-aware, because obviously we are fully inwards. You'll find that you'll probably want to socialize less this time of the month. You'll want to, your tolerance, your patience for other people's BS is infinitely lower than it usually is this time of month. And if you're Gemini or Scorpio, then people better watch out around you, because it's going to be horrifying. Kidding, we love you. This is the 2 cycles. So now that we're fully inwards and facing inwards and focusing on almost how it feels to be us, like where are we not living authentically, where are we mastering life, where are we absolutely killing it. This is checking on that. Why am I getting notifications from YouTube? Nothing's happening, unless it is and I'm completely missing it. Apologies if I'm missing something, YouTube. There we go. So I keep getting so distracted. So I'm so tired with the puppy. So the 2 cycles. So yes, facing inwards and realizing what we want to change, but perhaps being so, like I mentioned before, this is a time of stillness. There doesn't have to be much action. We're not called to action. We're called to look within and reflect. So if we become aware of the things that we, want to manifest, that we want to kind of purge ourselves of as well, then there's no reason why we can't do that work at the slightly later date, when we're feeling a bit more with it and not so introverted, perhaps. And then that kind of energy carries on until the full moon, where it then, we become, if you're like me, very extroverted, very life and soul of the party, very wanting to help others, to heal others, very full moony, very powerful. And then when that starts to drop again back into the new moon, that's almost, we've had a spotlight on areas that need our attention, whether that's good or bad, whether it's encouragement or discouragement. So then let's circle back to the cauldron idea. So I mentioned something before about the like dropping into the cauldron. Now this is the time of the month to work with any crone goddesses. Now my crone goddess, or the main crone goddess that I work with, is Ceridwen, the magnificent, powerful Welsh goddess of death, of transformation, of creativity, for she is the mother of Taliesin. And she is, again, I promise this won't be a Ceridwen talk. We've only got about 10 minutes left. How long have I talked? My goodness. Feels like I've just started. Anyway, so crone goddesses. So this is, these are women who are perimenopausal and menopausal, and their power is, obviously, being menopausal gets an awful lot of stick these days in at least Western society, but women get more and more powerful with age. And I understand why, that, ye olden days patriarchy was like, oh God, we better do something about about this. Let's pretend this is all horrible and nobody wants to age. But it's actually really, it's a privilege to age. Not many people get to experience it. But B, it might just be me, but the older and older I get, the less of a shit I give about other people's perceptions of me, about societal perceptions. Like, I couldn't care. So I'm 29 and I turn 30 next year. I'm planning to enter my 30s as authentic and absolutely feral as I can, absolutely wild. And I had wild 20s, believe me. Ask my mother. It was very wild. So yes, this idea that age is something to be mourned, that we should grieve our youth. No, we celebrate the age. But the crone goddess can really come in so powerful at this time because this is her time of the month. There is nothing in the sky. There is no womb in the sky. It's just this, again, the void, the vastness, the emptiness of nothing, and the power that sits in the nothing, the potentiality of life, of creation, of destruction, of humanity that sits in that nothingness is presided over by the crone and her, if it's Ceridwen, her cauldron. Now, this is nurses, any nurses or like medical professionals watching this with a live on the replay, drop in the comments and let me know, because isn't there a thing where at the new moon you can expect more deaths? Depending on what ward you're on, hopefully you're getting no deaths. But if you're on like a hospice care, because I know there's something at the full moon where the psychiatric wards get busier at the full moon. And I swear there was something where in the new moon people are more expected to die, you're kind of more prepared for it. I'd be really interested to hear that. So yeah, do let me know. But yes, death is very, I was going to say death is very natural. Of course it is. But it's very easily come this time of the month if you are, like I said, on hospice care, or you're in the dying process, or know somebody who's in the dying process anyway. Because there's no, I can't imagine, I'd have too much energy at full moon to die then. My goodness, I wouldn't be able to slow down my breathing or anything. It would be all systems go. So you've got to think that there's a lot less energy in the sky. Usually, like I said, it's an eclipse, so ignore, a good 40% of what I'm saying for this current new moon. But yeah, there's a lot less energy in the sky. There's a lot less chatter, if you like, that there's just, like I keep saying, the beauty of the nothingness. So you will find that if you're a death priestess, training to be a death priestess or death doula, whatever you prefer, or somebody with an ill and dying relative, or pet even, it will more likely be this time of the month where they tend to slip away. And this is, again, the crone is very, again, she could probably be an entire subject on herself, but I would probably get the magnificent Lorna Graham to do a guest spot on the Temple Talks for that, because her knowledge about the crone is infinite. My goodness. So I think that covers everything. Does anybody have any questions, or does anybody want to remind me of any points that I said I was going to come back to and have not? Because like I said, these Temple Talks I like to do unscripted. It's a lot more fun for me that way. Nope, lovely. So I will leave you. I know I usually play music at this time for the last 10 minutes, but YouTube keeps flagging me, even though I keep using what I think is royalty-free music and what I've been told is royalty-free music. YouTube disagrees. So until I can fix that, there'll be no music. But feel free to start playing your own music right now, and I'll just bring you all in a bit closer so you can see the altar and the temple a bit clearly, a bit more clearly. And there you go, my lovelies. So I will be back in 10 minutes. You can just use this time to rest, to relax, to meditate, to just think on what the new moon means to you. So I will see you all very shortly. Hello everyone again. Apologies for having to cut this short, but my puppy is being a nightmare. It requires a lot of attention. So I will love you and leave you all. Thank you so much for coming back for another temple talk. I will see you, I think I'm free next Friday for the last part of this series. So I will see you then. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye Facebook. And goodbye YouTube. And goodbye Instagram.